That's the sound of Woman and the Bass, played by the Trinidad All-Stars Steel Orchestra, also known as TASO. This performance is considered one of the best steel band performances of all times. It is one of the many countless magical moments created by the Trinidad All-Stars, a steel orchestra whose roots are sown deep within the cultural universe of Trinidad and Tobago. Known as one of the country's oldest steel orchestra, Trinidad All-Stars was founded in 1935 and consists of members as young as 5 years old. The orchestra's musical excellence, discipline, and creativity demonstrates its commitment to its watchwords, discipline, dedication, and magnificence. Today, TASO is a celebrated steel orchestra as well as a successful cooperative. Interestingly, though, despite its tremendous success, the band's humble beginning was birthed in what was described as abject poverty in the 1920s on the banks of the western side of the East Dry River. This amazing story of hope begins with an admirable group of young men in search of some type of creative expression amidst the Great International Depression of 1929. The group, led by Walter Saggiator Drayton, would meet at the gully to hang out, play cards, beat tambu bamboo, and roast breadfruit. They called themselves the Helyard Boys and was known essentially as a rhythm band, a cacophony of sound from an assortment of pans, cans, motorcar hubs, and other pieces of metal out of the bottle and spoon era. The group of young men were also inspired by American sailors who worked in Trinidad at the time, which inspired the Helyard Boys to create a Juve band called the SS Bad Behavior Band. On Juve morning and on carnival days, they fused their creativity of mass and music, parading the streets to the excitement and jubilation of the community, which led to their growth in popularity. Despite their ambition, the Dry River was a difficult place to operate and had become a virtual health hazard due to the river's diversion from its original course back in 1787. On Tuesday, 25th March 1930, the then Mayor, Sir Arthur Cipriani, initiated the paving of the East Dry River bed, and 4 years later, in 1934, the paving project was completed. The Dry River Boys, led by Saggiator, were joined with the rest of the community in jubilation over the positive endeavor, as Helyard was a location rich in cultural history from Cambule, Calypso, and Mass. Today, TASO still occupies that location on Duke Street. On my visit there, I spoke with the charismatic Hamilton Webb Alexander, former captain of the Trinidad All-Stars from 1971 to 1977.
Steel band originated in this yard, and this yard is known as Helyard, because before it was just a rhythmic sort of things with what we call old pans and rhythm, but the musical part of the steel band came from here, Helyard.
By 1937, the Helyard Dry River Combine was emerging successfully, and efforts were made to make improvement to the SS Bad Behavior Carnival image musically. However, the band leaders Saggiator and Eric Stowe would log heads and parted friendship on a violent note. Eventually, Saggiator departed and Eric Stowe became the band's first conductor under the band's new name, Second Fiddle. Second Fiddle's first victory in a competition was in 1941 at Raf Calypso Tent on Nelson Street in a pre-carnival season event. The band walked away with the top prize of $25. Around this time, a 14-year-old boy named Neville Jules from Richard Lane, East Dry River, began hanging around the Helyard. He came from a humble home where his dad was known to be tough but very kind, and his mother earned a living as a fruit vendor. Neville Jules was privileged to attend 3 of the foremost primary schools in Port of Spain: Gloucester Lodge Moravian, Eastern Boys Government School, and Rosary Boys. Although his environment was full of calypso rhythm, he also enjoyed listening to classical music and had an unusual ear for music. He was drawn to the musical activities at Helyard, and after countless hours of looking on at the going-ons in the dry river, he eventually joined the hallowed ranks of the Helyarders. After some time, the older men in the band stepped away and stopped playing, and the younger men formed a band called Cross of Lorraine, led by Rudolph Fisheye Oliver. By 1943, after spending time honing his skills and building relationships with the members, Neville Jules earned their respect and admiration for his dexterity and quick hands. His love for the music and the instrument became evident when his mother decided to move out of the area to live in St. Joseph. Jules stayed in Port of Spain and slept by Fisheye just to stay with the band. He perceived the potential of the band evolving into an all-percussion steel orchestra. This led him to move the band away from backup rhythm provided by tenor kettles, cuff booms, and dudoops to the modern musical instrument that exists today. As both a tuner and a skilled player, he was a key figure in Cross of Lorraine, and eventually some young men approached him about forming a new band under his leadership, hoping to recruit other outstanding players from other steel bands. The band was formed under the ambitious name The All Stars and developed an enduring reputation for discipline, largely due to Jules, who made sure they did not get into fights. All Stars was chosen as the name that matched the perceived skills of the players.
Because Jules was everything. Jules was the arranger, the fabricator, the tuner, everything. But the term All Stars came from when this guy came. I think he came from somewhere, Basilonchit or wherever he was from. And when he listened to the band, he said, but wait now, there's only stars playing here. That's how the term All Stars entered the arena. Because, you know, when there was Cross of Lorraine, I think it was Casablanca or some other band was carrying the same insignia. And they decided to drop that insignia, Cross of Lorraine. Because they were bad behavior, they were all kind of different names before All Stars. You know, Helyard Boys, they were all of that. But the name All Stars came when this guy came and listened to the band and saw the skill of the players then. And he said, but wait, there's only stars all you have playing here. And that's how All Stars came. It wasn't a case where Jules decided to name the band All Stars. If that happened, it was after this fella came and said that. But the thing about All Stars is once you go in and you go in the true sense of accepting, is like a kind of surrendering yourself to All Stars. It's not so much a band, it wasn't so much a band anymore. It's more like a family. Because you had these older guys there were like uncles and big brothers and that kind of thing. So the atmosphere wasn't like, oh, you know, kind of thing, you go and you join up a band and you go take a little knock and after that you know what you're doing. It wasn't that way. For any time you go in, it felt like you enter something different. It wasn't like you enter in a band or something like that. It felt like you enter a family or some kind of circle or some kind of, it was different. It was different.
Neville developed the bomb concept, the calypsoization of European classics. He guided practice with bare fingers in the garret, where only one section of the band at a time could be accommodated. The whole band played together for the first time when all the pans were brought down the street and the bombs were dropped on Juve morning. Trinidad All-Stars has won countless bomb competitions and competes annually in the eponymous Neville Jules Bomb Competition. Jules had not merely fashioned Trinidad All-Stars into a truly champion steel orchestra, but had orchestrated a group of grassroots people into a respected institution in Trinidad and Tobago. The legacy continued on after Neville Jules' decision to migrate in 1970 as the band forged on. Tasso has a history of nurturing talent present within the band. Leon Smooth Edwards, the current arranger who joined the band in 1968, is one of those musicians. In 1986, Smooth's arrangement of The Hammer by David Rudder scored 293, an average of 97.7. This remains the record for the highest score ever in the history of Panorama in Trinidad and Tobago. It has been said that Smooth has a method to putting down an arrangement. He begins the process at home. A single minute of music can take over a day to arrange.
The creation of how the Amandas transform notes and everything. That is music. They just transform it. The song that he will take and create, right? People can't believe they will hear them songs coming out of a steel pan. You understand? Because of how his mind, musical thinking, I play that way. But the man good. See Leon Smooth Edward? Let me put it that way. Leon Smooth Edward is the greatest arranger in Trinidad and Tobago for steel band music. And I say that with no malice. He is the greatest. He have 10 steel band wins and the only man to win the whole panorama. I want the world to hear that.
Hi, my name is Hakim Goodrich. I've been playing pan for over 15 years. I joined All Stars in 2013. So in primary school, there was a song that I heard while dancing to the sailor called Woman on the Bass. So that song kind of captured me at a young age, and I started to do more information about it and realized that it was Trinidad All Stars. They didn't know who the band was until like some years after, and I was already in pan, so I was like, why not join a big band like All Stars? There's a particular song that they had, and they were playing it like very, very fast. It's like 160 BPM, 150 BPM, and it was like 10 minutes long. So to be on stage for that length of time is like huge. Especially me growing up, being this youth man, watching that, it's like, how can someone play that fast for so long, you know? And in joining the band now, I realized that there's a lot of history behind All Stars. And I think that is what drives All Stars at this point. The history is golden. It's very golden. It's rich. And that is what's gonna take us from where we are and even further into the future. That is the All Stars magic.